We caught the fake young master playing net tug of war with a ceiling beam. Before the shocked onlookers around us could even process the scene, I dashed forward and roared furiously, "How bold of you! Who gave you permission to play on an indoor swing?" My overpowered best bro caught the vibe instantly and pulled off a savage sliding kick, sending both the fake air and his stool flying across the room. The fake young master slammed onto the floor like a flipped turtle, completely shell-shocked and clueless about who he was dealing with. My bro and I were the orphanage's notorious menace duo. My poison tongue stats were fully maxed out, specializing in pure magical defense penetration, while his brute strength was completely off the charts, specializing in direct physical exorcism. In the entire orphanage, nobody dared to mess with us. Even the big stray dogs in the yard tucked their tails and hugged the walls whenever they saw us. But when we turned 8 years old, the orphanage director brought a wealthy couple over to us and announced my bro was actually the lost true heir of the Liu billionaire empire. Just as they were about to take him home in luxury, my bro threw a massive fit demanding they take me along too. If it weren't for Xiaozi protecting me all these years, I would have been bullied to death long ago. If you don't adopt him as well, then I refuse to go back with you guys. I instantly flashed a dazzling angel smile and stepped up to introduce myself. Hello uncle and auntie. I am officially the most obedient and well-behaved kid in this orphanage. Adopting me is guaranteed to be the best deal of your lives. The orphanage director standing beside us twitching his mouth, terrified that our menace duo might actually stay behind. So, he squeezed his eyes shut and steeled his heart, making a bold decision that defied his ancestors. That is right, Mer and Mrs. Liu, Fanfan and Xiaozi right here are truly the sweetest and most angelic boys in our entire orphanage. Their bond is unbreakable, and they refuse to be separated no matter where they go. Why not adopt both of them together? The billionaire couple hesitated slightly. Raising one more child isn't really a problem for our family. It is just that we already have an adopted son at home. My bro and I immediately exchanged a sharp alert look, the fake air. Then there is no way I can let my best bro go back alone. In case that adopted son is a manipulative green tea drama queen, my bro could never outshine him on his own. A sudden change in environment could make Fanfan depressed and suicidal. Take me along and I promise to take good care of him and keep him company. The billionaire couple shuddered at my words. My bro immediately cooperated and burst into dramatic theatrical tears. If you don't agree to adopt Xiaozi, I will hang myself right outside your front gates tonight. The couple caved and compromised instantly. Mrs. Liu turned to look at me and said, "We can bring you home with us. You will have a younger brother waiting at home. I will definitely get along splendidly with my dear little brother. Do not worry, Mom." The orphanage director was moved to actual tears of relief, looking ready to wave celebratory flags to send us off. Hooray! Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Liu, on gaining the precious young masters. After the couple was led away to finalize the adoption paperwork, I was deeply touched and said, "My good bro, you are truly loyal and dependable. You actually remembered our sacred oath to get rich together." He rolled his eyes in pure disgust. I was just worried that after I left, that big poisonous mouth of yours would get you beaten to death. I chuckled mischievously like a villain. Haha, thank you, my generous godfather bro. That fake young master didn't tag along today. Chances are he is terrified of your grand return. If he turns out to be a scheming little green tea snake, I will gladly help you crush him into dust. Over all these years we were invincible in the orphanage, precisely because of our legendary duo synergy. I dealt the verbal psychological damage, driving targets mad with rage, while he handled the physical takedowns, knocking them flat out cold. When the billionaire couple returned after completing the paperwork, they beamed happily at the sight of us bonding. Your brotherly bond is truly heartwarming. Seeing this puts our minds completely at ease. Once we got into the luxury limousine, Mrs. Liu gave us a quick rundown of the family household. Only then did we find out, besides the fake young master named Liu Fugui, my bro also had an elder biological sister 2 years older than him. My bro got lost when he was 3 precisely because of her careless mistake. Yet the main culprit behind his disappearance didn't even show up to welcome him, which made it obvious she wasn't thrilled about his return either. Sure enough, the moment we stepped out of the luxury car, we spotted a gloomy-faced teenage girl standing at the villa gates with her arms crossed defensively. Seeing my bro and me grinning cheekily and calling her big sister in unison, Liu Ryan's haughty expression visibly cracked. "How on earth did you guys adopt an extra stray child?" Only after hearing that I as an adoptee had 0 inheritance rights did she breathe a sigh of relief and snap, "I am warning you two. Do not you dare bully my darling little brother from now on. Otherwise do not blame me for being completely ruthless with you. I immediately ducked behind my bro and whispered innocently, Fanfan, why is big sister playing such blatant favorites? If she had protected you like this back in the day, she wouldn't have caused you to get lost and suffer so many miserable years in that harsh orphanage. Sure enough, the billionaire couple's faces darkened instantly. I swiftly pinched my bro's waist from behind. He instantly covered his face and began wailing with theatrical grief. Since big sister hates me so much, I should just pack my bags and head back to the orphanage. Xiaozi, let us leave right now. Father Liu snapped and slapped Liu Ryan right across the face. You ungrateful brat, is this how you welcome your own biological brother? Get out of my sight. Liu Ryan clutched her cheek, glaring resentfully at us, not daring to utter another peep. My bro and I exchanged a sly victorious wink. Yes. Round 1 victory secured. However, the very second we stepped into the grand living room, we saw the fake young master sniffling dramatically on a stool, getting ready to hang himself. Oh boy, look at that classic guilt trip performance. Before anyone in the room could react, I charged straight forward and roared, how dare you? Who taught you to set up an indoor swing like this? My bro executed a picture-perfect sliding kick, knocking the fake air and his stool flat to the floor. Before the fake air could even slip his neck into the noose, he crashed hard onto the floor, splayed out in complete disarray. He burst into loud, pitiful sobs. The whole family rushed forward frantically to help him up. Noticing the rope tied to the ceiling and the tipped stool, the entire household surrounded him in pure panic. Fugui, what on earth are you doing to yourself? Liu Fugui wept and looked toward Liu Yifan standing beside me. I have stolen your identity and rightful place for so many years, making you endure endless suffering in the orphanage. I will atone for my sins with my own life right here. Big brother, I beg you, please do not blame mom and dad. Just promise you will take good care of them for me from now on. Mother Liu hugged him tightly, heartbroken. You silly child, stop this nonsense. In our hearts and minds, you are just as much our beloved son as if we gave birth to you. Liu Ryan glared furiously at me from the side. My poor brother, none of this is your fault at all. Let us see who dares point fingers at you. Liu Fugui wailed even louder, curling in Mother Liu's embrace while casting a smug, provocative glare at me. Yup, a textbook manipulative green tea drama queen, trying to sow discord and play the fragile victim. No way in hell. I stepped right up and activated my signature maxed out poison tongue skill. So this is our adopted little brother. My sincere apologies, dear brother. I honestly thought some ill-mannered little brat was casually playing on an indoor swing. By the way, little brother, were you actually trying to hang yourself just now? Who on earth tries to hang themselves from a fragile crystal chandelier and ties a loose slip knot that aunties with a single tug? What if you didn't die and the heavy lamp fell, crushing innocent bystanders? Seriously, that is extremely hazardous to everyone. Thank goodness I stepped in to lend a helping foot in time. Everyone looked up at the fancy ceiling chandelier and realized things were exactly as I described. Father Liu's face turned pitch black with fury. What reckless nonsense! What if that heavy chandelier fell on your brother? Seeing both his guilt trip and division tactics fail miserably, Liu Fugui had no choice but to look at me and continue sobbing. I am sorry, big brother, I was only trying to atone for my guilt. Little brother, you are apologizing to the wrong guy. I am merely your adopted older brother. He over there is the true biological brother you owe an apology to. I pushed my bro forward into the spotlight. Go ahead and restart your dramatic apology to him properly. Liu Ryan stomped forward, angrily shielding Liu Fugui, and yelled, Dad. Fugui was only doing this out of sincere remorse and guilt. It was clearly Liu Yifan and Liu Zi who maliciously kicked him down on purpose. They have zero manners and zero proper upbringing. My temper flared up instantly like a raging inferno. Damn it, you can insult me all you want, but trash-talking my bro is where I draw the absolute line. Big sister, I know you are desperate to play the noble brother protector, but you can't just open your mouth and spew pure sewage. Why does Fanfan lack formal etiquette and home manners? Isn't it entirely because your careless self lost him in the first place? You, the prime culprit, have the audacity to complain about his upbringing. With logic like that, is your brain directly wired to your colon? After my rapid-fire roast barrage, the entire room fell dead silent. When Liu Ryan finally processed my words, her face turned beet red, her voice trembling with indignation. You dare insult me like that? So what if I roasted you? I am not done yet, I am roasting him too. What are you putting on airs for with your vintage 1982 green tea act? Even an industrial trash bag can't hold as much fake garbage as you. Weren't you supposedly feeling frail and resting in bed? Your energetic hanging stunt earlier didn't look sick in the slightest. Liu Fugui turned pale as a ghost from my vicious roast. You what you? If you have a stutter, go see a doctor. If your brain is malfunctioning, go read some books. I couldn't be bothered to waste more breath on him, and turned around to ask the jaw-dropped billionaire couple. I heard that we will be placed in the exact same class as our little brother. The couple nodded hurriedly. That is wonderful. Then we can help look after our little brother every day. By the way, where are our bedrooms? Mother Liu quickly led us upstairs to check out the rooms. Liu Fugui trailed behind us with red teary eyes and pushed open his bedroom door, pretending to be generous. Big brother, if you don't mind, you can take my bedroom. It rightfully belonged to Big brother anyway. Liu Ryan rushed over and blocked our path. Brother, this room was custom designed for you by Mom. Uncultured country bumpkins like them don't deserve to stay here. Seeing that I was about to launch another verbal assault, Mother Liu glared sharply at her. Fanfan, pick whichever bedroom you like in this house. Consider it our little compensation for you. My bro shot a disgusted glance at Liu Fugui's overly frilly sissy-style bedroom, then turned around and casually pointed at a much larger room with prime sunlight exposure. We will take this one right here. It has plenty of space for Xiaozi and me. Liu Ryan nearly lost her mind. You have some nerve. That is Mom and Dad's master bedroom. I turned to Mother Liu with a beaming smile. You just said we could pick whatever we wanted. You wouldn't go back on your word, would you? Mother Liu's lips switched slightly, but she nodded. Anyway, that settles it then. We are exhausted after riding in the car all day. Mom, you should get some rest too. Over the following week, my bro and I went on an insane luxury shopping spree. After 8 agonizingly broke years, we finally experienced the joy of buying without checking price tags and swiping cards like absolute kings. We brought back mountains of luxury shopping bags, filling several delivery trucks full of loot. Every time Liu Fugui made salty, sarcastic remarks about us squandering money recklessly, he got completely shut down by my razor-sharp tongue. Unable to win a single verbal battle, he resorted to petty, underhanded sabotage. On day 1, he pretended to be frail and clumsy, dropping a heavy vase from upstairs trying to smash our heads, only for my bro to catch it effortlessly with one hand. On day 2, he secretly slipped his diamond watch underneath our pillows and brought the entire family in for a dramatic caught red-handed bust, only for me to pull up high-def security footage showing him sneaking into our room like a burglar. Cornered with no way out, he had to part with his prized watch, sobbing that he merely wanted to surprise us with a welcoming gift. Crushed both verbally and physically in every duel, Liu Fugui behaved himself significantly, but we both knew he was secretly plotting something bigger. Sure enough, a month later, during a class meeting at our elite academy, with tearful red eyes in front of the entire class, he introduced my bro and me. These are the brothers my parents just brought back from the orphanage. In one slick sentence, he painted us as the newly adopted charity cases. The classmates instantly looked at him with deep sympathy, whispering, is the rich family really that reckless, adopting two random boys out of the blue? Poor Liu Fugui. Imagine how much love and inheritance he will lose. I chuckled and nudged my bro to pull out the DNA paternity test. Little brother, your choice of words is quite fascinating. You occupied someone else's nest for 8 long years, and yet here you are acting like the aggrieved victim. You are just an adopted son exactly like me. What are you pretending to be the biological prince for? Hello everyone. I am the sworn brother of the real Liu family, heir Liu Yifan, as well as their adopted son. They didn't adopt me because they had too much cash to burn, but because they were terrified my bro would get bullied by certain snakes. So they brought me along to act as his personal bodyguard. Just like right now, the classroom instantly plunged into silence. Everyone turned to stare at Liu Fugui in sheer disgust. What a joke. Turns out the thief was shouting to catch the thief all along, exactly pretending to be the true young master every day, when in reality he is just a tacky fake pheasant. The mocking laughter slapped Liu Fugui across the face. Fuming with humiliation and rage, he nearly burst into tears on the spot. From that moment onward, he was branded the school's official fake green tea heir. Desperate to salvage his dignity, he frantically studied classical piano and traditional dance, hoping to outshine us with refined aristocratic elegance. Meanwhile, I apprenticed under crosstalk and stand-up comedy masters, while my bro enrolled in kickboxing and tai chi classes, maximizing our natural talents to the absolute extreme. Over the next few years, Liu Fugui's dream of overshadowing us completely failed to materialize. At every single school festival gala, my stand-up comedy and my bro's sledgehammer on chest stunt effortlessly reduced his delicate dances to total obscurity. On campus, thanks to my sharp wit and hilarious humor, I amassed a huge fan base, while my bro use his martial arts prowess to help countless students. With the two of us keeping order, the entire school atmosphere improved dramatically. Bullying and street fights practically vanished overnight. The two former menace terrors, by the age of 16, had blossomed into a bright, charming, and universally loved young men. The billionaire couple grew fonder and fonder of us, holding a grand press conference to formally announce our status. For the coming-of-age gal, we should transfer company shares to Fanfun. After all, he is our true flesh and blood son. In recent years, our corporation has faced fierce competition from the Bai group. We urgently need a corporate marriage alliance to secure our footing. Fortunately, the Bai family's sole heiress is open to meeting. Let us see which of the boys catches her eye. Overhearing their private conversation, Liu Fugui clenched his fists with burning jealousy. A sinister, venomous grin crept across his face, as if he had made up his mind on a wicked plot. Over the next 2 years, Liu Fugui and Liu Ryan did a complete personality 180. Not only did they stop antagonizing us, they actively showered us with friendly affection. Liu Ryan even proactively offered that once my bro passed his college entrance exams, she would personally mentor him in the family business. While Liu Fugui transformed into the sweetest obedient little brother, flattering both of us with endless pampering. On the day of our 18th birthday, he and Liu Ryan loaded us with luxury gifts and glowing blessings. Just before the grand banquet commenced, they suggested taking us to the mountain peak to watch a surprise custom fireworks show they prepared for us. My bro and I hopped into the car in high spirits, riding all the way to the desolate mountain summit. The moment we stepped out of the car, several muscular thugs leaped out from the surrounding bushes. My bro reacted with lightning speed, knocking down 2 thugs in rapid succession, only for a supposedly terrified Liu Fugui to clamp onto his legs. I tried to rush in and assist him, but another burly thug ambushed me, clamping a chloroform-soaked handkerchief over my nose and mouth. Shalzi, my bro yelled desperately, trying to break free and save me, but pinned down by Fugui, he was quickly smothered by a Raktu. Within less than a single minute, the two of us collapsed onto the cold dirt, knocked out cold. The 2 siblings, who were pretending to weep in terror a second ago, burst into triumphant mocking laughter. Drag these 2 losers far away, just make sure you don't accidentally kill them. Make sure the video footage is crystal clear, especially of that adopted smart mouth. I want him ruined and disgraced for the rest of his pathetic life. The thug leader rubbed his greasy hands with a lecherous smirk. Rest assured, Miss Liu, we guarantee the footage will exceed your wildest expectations. My bro and I were hauled into a shady van driving down the mountain. On the road, the thugs in the front seats chuckled gleefully. Ha! Wealthy air and fighting between spoiled billionaire kids handed us the easiest payday and bonus ever. We have never played with such smooth-skinned pretty boys before. Ha 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 ha. After the van pulled up outside an abandoned warehouse in the suburbs, the thugs popped open the trunk to drag the 2 of us out. The next second, the smirks on their greasy faces froze solid, looking as if they had just witnessed an army of ghosts. Meanwhile, Liu Fugui and Liu Ryan acted as if absolutely nothing had happened, and smoothly drove back to the banquet hall. Father and Mother Liu, busy entertaining prominent guests, were stunned to see only the 2 of them return. In utter shock, where are Fanfan and Xiaozi? Liu Fugui dabbed his red eyes and sobbed theatrically. The older brothers said they refused to share a birthday banquet with me, and left to celebrate their true coming of age in their own way. Ridiculous nonsense, call them back this instant. The sole heiress of the Bai conglomerate specially attended today for the prospective marriage alliance. She is already waiting inside the private lounge. Mom and Dad, you know how stubborn and reckless their tempers are. Right now, only you two can head down to the shady entertainment district and persuade them to come home. Unable to reach our phones and terrified of a public scandal, and terrified of airing family scandals in public, rushed off in a panic toward the address given by the siblings to search for us. The moment the parents left, Liu Ryan urgently urged Liu Fugui to go change his clothes. Once the deed is done and the rice is cooked, that Bai girl won't be able to deny the marriage alliance. As for those 2 annoying brats, once their dignity and purity are utterly destroyed today, they are completely finished for life. Sister, I heard that Bai Ningbing has a terrible temper, cold, aloof, and completely unapproachable. Even Mom and Dad haven't seen what she looks like in person. What if she turns out to be a hideous monster? What kind of nonsense are you worrying about at a time like this? Regardless of what she looks like, she is the sole heiress of the massive Bai conglomerate. As long as you marry her, in the future you will easily be able to trample those 2 lowly bastards Liu Yifan and Liu Zi firmly beneath your feet forever. Once tonight is over, Whether it is the Liu family shares or the Bai family alliance, neither of them will touch a single crumb. The future of the Liu Empire will still belong entirely to us. Convinced by her grand promises, Liu Fugui gritted his teeth and nodded resolutely. 5 minutes later, Liu Ryan, acting as the generous host, entered the private lounge carrying drugged wine on a platter. Liu Fugui, disguised as a waiter, stood waiting outside the door. Hearing the signal call from inside, he happily strutted inside right past the 2 bodyguards. Soon from inside the private lounge came steamy, breathless sounds that made one's heart race. Meanwhile, just as father and mother Liu drove out the front gates, they bumped right into my bro and me casually strolling back. Fanfan Shaozi, how did you two get back here? After hearing what we just went through, the parents were fuming with explosive rage. How dare those 2 vile scoundrels? We must teach them an unforgettable lesson tonight. Father and mother Liu rushed us back into the venue, but couldn't spot Liu Ryan anywhere. Just as they were boiling with frustration, a blood-curdling shrill scream from Liu Fugui ripped through the private lounge, echoing across the entire banquet hall, causing all the shocked guests to swarm toward the lounge entrance. What on earth happened in there? No idea. Should we head inside to check it out? Amid the buzzing chatter of the crowd, father and mother Liu pulled us swiftly through the onlookers, straight to the lounge doorway, where they were shocked to discover, outside the lounge, Bai Ningbing's 2 personal bodyguards had completely vanished. Could the young mistress of the Bai family be in grave danger? The Bai family always cherished their daughter beyond measure. Securing her attendance today had taken 2 full years of intense effort and persuasion. They had deliberately arranged for Bai Ningbing to enter discreetly through the side entrance with bodyguards, precisely to prevent any unexpected mishaps. If anything terrible happened to her under their roof, the Liu family could never withstand the Bai Empire's crushing fury. At this terrifying thought, Father Liu red-eyed ordered the security guards to kick down the door. Under the heavy kicks of the security guards, the lounge door slammed open, and the scene inside left everyone utterly dumbfounded. Total chaotic devastation everywhere. Shattered vases and torn clothing scraps littered the entire carpet. Liu Fugui, disheveled and barely dressed, was sobbing uncontrollably, curled under a blanket on the sofa. The side door stood wide open, gently swinging on its hinges. Clearly someone had just fled in frantic panic moments ago. Seeing such a scandalous scene, even a fool could deduce what had just taken place. Mother Liu shrieked and rushed forward to embrace him. What on earth happened here? The gossiping banquet guests immediately understood the implications. Looking at this, it is either a secret tryst, or someone got severely taken advantage of. Father Liu reacted with lightning speed, bowing with a grim face to apologize to the guests. Our family has an unexpected private matter to handle. Please move to the main dining hall for dinner. Please, this way. Fanfan Shaozi, help us attend to the esteemed guests. Liu Fugui, weeping in Mrs. Liu's arms, shuddered violently, staring at my bro and me in absolute disbelief. How on earth are you two here? Impossible. Father and mother Liu watched this closely, the cold chill in their eyes deepening significantly. Just moments ago, they hadn't fully believed everything my bro and I said, but now they were 80% convinced. Even though I didn't know what wicked scheme Liu Fugui and Liu Ryan were cooking up in secret, but seeing his current pathetic state, how could I pass up such a golden opportunity to mock him? I put on a panic-stricken face and sobbed dramatically. Little brother, Fanfan and I were nearly kidnapped by violent thugs earlier. We escaped only to find you, and big sister had vanished. Where is big sister? Did something terrible happen to her too? My sentences made all the guests panic for their own safety. The family's 2 other sons were nearly abducted, and the daughter has gone missing. Could there be dangerous criminals lurking at this banquet? Everyone be on high alert. Call the police. Call the police right now. Liu Fugui's face turned deathly pale in an instant. If the police actually arrived, not only would their drugging plot be exposed, but their kidnapping conspiracy would unravel as well. Do not call the cops. Mom, Dad, I beg of you. He clutched Mother Liu's arm frantically, streaming with desperate tears. If you call the police, what will happen to my reputation and future? Mother Liu indeed wavered with pity. Standing up to address the crowd, everyone, please give our Liu family some face. This concerns the reputation of our youngest son. Someone in the crowd interrupted coldly. Your daughter is missing, and you are still worrying about an adopted son's reputation. If this puts our safety at risk, can your Liu family bear the responsibility? Or is your Liu family hiding some shady conspiracy? The guests no longer cared about saving face for Father Liu, loudly demanding to call the authorities. My bro and I exchanged a subtle sly grin. Our goal was about to be achieved. Who said I was missing? Liu Ryan's voice rang out sharply from the crowd. She pushed through the onlookers with a furrowed brow. But seeing the scene inside the lounge, her face changed drastically in horror. Little brother, what happened to you? Who dared to lay a finger on you? As Liu Ryan grabbed Liu Fugui's trembling shoulders, his eyes were bloodshot and his whole body shook. Sister, I was. He choked on his sobs, unable to speak. The crowd pressed impatiently. Who did this to you? If you don't talk, we are calling the police for real. Liu Fugui covered his face, weeping uncontrollably. Liu Ryan seemed to realize something. Mom, Dad, it must have been her doing. Father and Mother Liu were suddenly jolted to their senses. They hadn't seen Bai Ningbing anywhere this entire time, and Liu Fugui had met with misfortune in her designated lounge. Casting all other thoughts aside, they grabbed Liu Fugui, demanding, was it her? Speak up right now. Yes, it was her. After you two left, Big Sister and I were busy greeting guests. I wanted to deliver wine to her, but I never expected that she would. Mom, Dad. After doing those unspeakable things to me, she fled through the side door. The moment these words were spoken, everyone in the room was flabbergasted. You mean the heiress of the Bai conglomerate? How could it possibly be her? Though I heard she was attending today's banquet, but nobody has even seen her arrive. Aside from the Liu parents, nobody knew Bai Ningbing was staying in this private lounge today. So the guests refused to believe it, finding the claim utterly laughable. What a ridiculous joke. The Bai group has surpassed the Liu group in market momentum over the last 2 years. What possible reason would she have to lay a hand on an adopted nobody in your family? Even if she made a move, it would be on the real heir. Not necessarily. I heard long ago that the Liu family was desperate to climb the social ladder with a Bai alliance. Could this be a self-directed drama staged by the Lias? Several elders muttered, whatever the truth is, everyone should stay put and be careful, lest we get dragged into some shady scheming. Father Liu's face turned ashen, trembling as he dialed a phone number. Bai Ningbing, where are you right now? Our Liu family treated you with utmost sincerity and hospitality. Why on earth would you violate my youngest son like this? His outburst sent shockwaves through the entire room. So Miss Bai actually came to the banquet today? Yes, to keep things low-key. We had staff secretly escort her into this private lounge, but we never imagined she would commit such a beastly act. On the other end of the line, Bai Ningbing said nothing and hung up directly. Father Liu was so enraged he nearly smashed his phone. The crowd exploded into heated commotion, hanging up without saying a single word. That is pure proof of a guilty conscience. Looks like it really was her. The very next second, a cool, elegant, and commanding voice rang out from behind the crowd. Spreading malicious slander can land you in prison. I haven't even laid eyes on him. Where does this ridiculous violation accusation come from? The crowd, gasping in shock, turned around and got a clear look at the newcomer, collectively gasping in breathless awe. I was too far away to see clearly. Just as I was about to ask my bro to lift me up, everyone present, including Father and Mother Liu, suddenly snapped their gazes straight onto my face. Liu Ryan stared as if seeing a ghost. Bai Ningbing. You are Bai Ningbing. A stunningly glamorous woman glided gracefully forward, her overwhelming aura parting the crowd effortlessly. Finally, I caught a clear look at her face, and instantly understood why everyone was staring at me. Because her facial features were a striking 70% match with mine. Holy crap. Xiaozi, why does she look like she was carved from the exact same mold as you? My jaw hung wide open in stunned silence, staring blankly at the gorgeous woman before me. Liu Ryan shrieked like a lunatic. Didn't you already leave? How on earth did you come back? Bai Ningbing completely ignored her rant. Little brother, Big Sister has finally found you. My bro and I nearly collapsed from pure shock. The guests standing outside the lounge erupted into utter chaos like boiling water. Siblings. Isn't the Bai conglomerate heiress an only child? How did a younger brother suddenly pop out of nowhere? And Miss Bai, have you perhaps mistaken someone else? Bai Ningbing smiled gently, her eyes still locked affectionately on me. Absolutely not. He is without a doubt my biological younger brother. Then she revealed the shocking truth. 18 years ago, Mrs. Bai didn't just give birth to a single daughter, but a pair of fraternal twins. But the baby boy was maliciously swapped by a nurse at birth, completely unnoticed by the family. Afterward, the Bai chairman relocated his wife and children abroad to expand their business overseas, until 5 years ago, when the swap fake young master fell gravely ill, and medical tests revealed he wasn't biologically related to them. In order to track down their real son, just as Chairman Bai decided to move the family back to China, the fake son's condition deteriorated drastically, even though he wasn't flesh and blood. Having raised him for 18 years, Mrs. Bai decided to remain overseas to care for his medical treatment, while Chairman Bai and Bai Ningbing returned home to establish their business, searching relentlessly for me while managing the company. 2 years ago they finally unearthed a crucial clue and rushed over to the orphanage, only to be told I had already been adopted by the Liu family. Bai Ningbing secretly hired private investigators and discovered that my face bore an uncanny resemblance to hers. Just as she was preparing to come knocking and claim me, the Liu family beat her to the punch with a press conference, publicly announcing my status as their adopted son. Back then the Bai and Liu families were fierce market competitors, concerned about media scrutiny and ensuring my absolute safety. Chairman Bai and Bai Ningbing decided against an abrupt confrontation and opted instead to accept the Liu family's overtures, transitioning from rivals to business partners. So when they heard the Liu family proposed a marriage alliance, we readily agreed, planning to use this 18th birthday banquet to officially reunite with my long-lost brother. But we never anticipated that your adopted son and biological daughter would conspire against us. Liu Ryan, hiring thugs to kidnap my brother and plotting to drug and frame me. I have already reported everything to the police. The entire hall gasped in utter pandemonium. Liu Ryan's face turned completely ashen gray. Father and Mother Liu were overwhelmed with shock. What? Yanyan, Fugui, what on earth have you done? My bro and I immediately called out loudly. We already told you earlier. They tricked us into going up the mountain for a fireworks show, when in reality they hired thugs to kidnap us. Right after that, I pulled out the micro-hidden camera I had kept concealed and connected the recorded footage, projecting it directly onto the grand banquet screens. Liu Ryan and Liu Fugui's sinister scheming expressions were broadcast in full view of every guest, their secret interactions with the kidnappers, and their parting instructions to ruin us prompted everyone in the audience to spit curses in disgust. Then the video footage shifted angle, showing the bumpy, dimly lit interior of the Vince trunk. The thug leader's vile, disgusting banter rang loud and clear in everyone's ears. It all makes sense now. The biological daughter clearly wanted to hoard the entire inheritance. That is why she played such a ruthless, vicious hand against her brother. Father and Mother Liu stared at Liu Ryan with eyes full of utter heartbreak. You vile disgrace. From this day forward, we no longer have a daughter like you. Liu Ryan scrambled to make excuses, but the crowd gasped again, staring at the giant projector screen. In the footage, the thugs popped open the trunk with looks of sheer terror, looking as petrified as if they had met the devil himself. My bro and I could be heard cackling mischievously, which combined with the eerie dark atmosphere, sounded delightfully chilling. Before the thugs could even react, my bro delivered a crisp, devastating elbow strike right into the lead thug's ribcage. Before the second thug behind him could process what happened, the wrist he rested on the trunk door was already twisted like a pretzel by my bro, flying backward through the air before he could even scream. The three thugs inside the warehouse heard the commotion and charged forward with switchblades drawn. I swiftly raised heavy-duty pepper spray, aimed straight at their faces, and sprayed relentlessly. The three thugs clutched their faces, howling in agony, clattering their drop daggers onto the concrete floor. My bro seized the moment and charged in. In under 3 minutes flat, all the burly thugs were hog-tied tightly like holiday turkeys, while I stood nearby casually recording everything on my phone. With pathetic skills like this, you amateurs dare attempt a kidnapping. 5 useless bums couldn't scrape together a single whole brain cell. The guests in the banquet hall stared at the two of us, as if looking at supernatural monsters. Holy crap. They are only 18 years old. How on earth is their combat power so terrifying? Beside us, Bai Ningbing curved her crimson lips and revealed the secret she had caught wind of. Liu Ryan and Liu Fugui's two birds with one stone vicious scheme, and decided to turn the tables to wipe them out completely. Those hired thugs had their lunch pre-spiked with sedatives beforehand, leaving their reflexes sluggish and their movements severely impaired. Even their weapons and knockout rags had been swapped out for movie props and harmless saline solution, making our counterattack completely effortless. My bro and I came to a sudden realization, and here we thought our tag team synergy was naturally invincible. Bai Ningbing patted my head dotingly and handed a USB flash drive from her pocket to Father Liu, containing full evidence of Liu Ryan and Liu Fugui hiring hitmen. Shortly after, the police arrived at the scene, authenticating on the spot both my projected videos and the digital files from Bai Ningbing's drive as fully genuine and verified evidence. Immediately, moving to place Liu Ryan and Liu Fugui under arrest on criminal charges. Father and Mother Liu were completely disillusioned with the pair. Summon our legal team immediately. Today, I will sever all ties with these two ungrateful, treacherous wolves once and for all. Liu Fugui wailed at the top of his lungs. You forced my hand. Mom, Dad. The person who violated me wasn't Bai Ningbing. It was Big Sister. Everyone was blown away by this mind-shattering plot twist. Bai Ningbing casually flipped her hair and recounted what actually went down in the lounge. When Liu Ryan entered with the spiked wine, she only met an actress disguised as Bai Ningbing. The fake Bai was a skilled female hustler who slickly swapped the two wine glasses on the platter. Then once Liu Ryan became woozy and intoxicated, covered her up with a thick blanket on the couch. So when Liu Fugui snuck in, seeing a heavily intoxicated figure slumped on the sofa, thought his dirty plot had succeeded, and pounced eagerly onto the couch, only to be overpowered and pinned down by Liu Ryan, whose drug-induced frenzy had peaked. By the time he realized something was terribly wrong, it was already far too late, which explained why he let out such a blood-curdling, terrified scream. Once the drug effects wore off, Liu Ryan realized she had fallen squarely into Bai Ningbing's trap. So just as the crowd prepared to kick down the door, she clamped her hand over Liu Fugui's mouth, ordered him on how to shift the blame, and fled hastily out the side door. Bai Ningbing, you are truly psycho. You swapped the drugs. You set up the entire trap. You even manipulated the kidnappers. You despicable snake. As Bai Ningbing prepared a calm retort, I cut in impatiently. What is the point of reasoning with her? Watch me handle this. I told you earlier your brain is wired to your colon and you didn't believe me. You don't even deserve to have my bro call you sister. You belong in the barnyard sitting equal with farm animals. Actually saying that is an insult to farm animals. You are like a stray mutt, burping after eating too much garbage until your brain turned to sludge. I am genuinely worried that once you end up in prison, you won't even figure out how to operate a sewing machine. By the way, I heard inmates love tormenting two-faced spoiled criminals like you, who bite the hands that fed them. With your delicate pampered skin, you will probably end up as the prison's public toilet for everyone to step on. Liu Ryan nearly passed out from sheer apoplectic fury. Liu Fugui broke down in hysterics, regretting his life choices, dropping to his knees before Father and Mother Liu. Dad, Mom, I was truly forced by Big Sister. I am a victim too. I beg you, please save me. Unaware that for elite wealthy families beyond betrayal, public scandal is the ultimate taboo. As an adopted son, conspiring with the daughter to ruin the biological heir, and still daring to plead for mercy, Father Liu was showing mercy by not paying inmates to crush him in prison. Later the police followed the coordinates and rounded up all the tied-up thugs captured by my bro. Liu Fugui and Liu Ryan were sentenced for kidnapping, attempted murder, false accusation, and indecent assault among multiple charges, receiving 8 and 10 years of strict imprisonment respectively. Meanwhile, I was officially welcomed back into the Bai family, becoming a legitimate billionaire just like my best bro. Mer and Mrs. Liu transitioned from adoptive parents to my godparents and godmother, achieving their dream of a solid long-term alliance with the Bai group. Father Liu transferred full family inheritance rights solely to my bro, and remarked with deep emotional awe, "Who would have thought that your brotherhood with Xiaozi would secure an unbreakable alliance forever? Of course romantic flings come and go, but nothing beats the unbreakable loyalty of true brotherhood." Ha 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 ha.